This video explains how knitting in Crochet Buddy works. When you first log into the app, you're presented with a help screen. We'll blow past that since you're watching this video. The main screen allows you to add new projects and track the projects that you're working on. The easiest way to add a new project is click the Add New Project button. And if you're working on a hat, let's call it a baby hat, you can go ahead and enter that into the project name here, and it'll autocorrect for me. We'll say it's a current project, it's a knitting project, and it's in a category of hats. So I'm going to close out of the notes section. You can also, a lot of other features here if you want to change your cast on date. Let's say I'm going to start it today, or if you want to include your yarn info or your gauge info, or the pattern link is helpful if you want to know where you got the pattern from, and then your project is there. I'm going to show you how to add another project just in case you're knitting on more than one project. If you're working on a sweater, let's say, and it's a current project, it's a knitting project, and it's in a different category, we'll put that in the category of sweater. So here you can see when you go back to the page, you have two different projects going on. The reason I showed you this, if you want to filter on the different types of projects, you might want to filter by crochet, or you can filter by planned projects or completed projects, or by just show me sweaters, and you can go ahead and do that on this page. If you want to get back into the sweater notes, click on the notes button and you're right back. If you want to delete the project, click on the X. If you want to go into the project and see more about your sweater, you can go ahead and do that. The main project page that we're looking at here has two features right now. It's got a row button that you can increase and decrease and keep track of which row you're on, and it has a project timer that allows you to set how much time's been elapsed on this particular project. This is the most basic view. If you start a project and you're already midway through it and you're just now downloading Knitting Buddy and you're on project row 50 already, you can just type that in. Same thing with the timer. If you think you've been working on the project for an hour and let's say an hour and 2 minutes already, you can enter that in there, and then just it'll keep track from your hour and 2 minutes. One of the nicest features of Knitting Buddy is the ability to add patterns to that main screen. And what I've done, let me back out and tell you what I did. Under the project menu, if you go into photos and click the add image button, you can go ahead and I've already taken a screenshot of a pattern that I'd like to add. And I can go ahead in and enter notes about this to say this is my pattern, and keep track of that. If I want to add this picture, if I go back, you'll see that nothing has happened. If I want to add this pattern as to my main screen, I have to press and hold that pattern button. And when I go back, you'll see that the pattern is now on this main screen. So it's nice, as you're knitting, you can keep track of your pattern, and you don't have to go multiple places. This is also comes with you. You don't have to you don't have to be connected to the internet or anything like that for it to work. On the project settings page, there's a few more things. Repeat rows. If you have a 6-row repeat and you want to set that to 6, you can do that here. If you want to show the progress, let's say it's a 75-row pattern and you click the save button, it'll tell you you're on row 52 out of 75. That's a 70% progress. On the right hand side here you see your rows. On the left hand side is your repeats. So there's this check button here, a checkbox here that's linking those two together. So if you click on a row, that'll also increase your repeat. So we said it was a 6-row repeat, so after the 6th one it'll jump to repeat 2-1. If you go back, it'll still be at 1-6. If you unlink those two, you can move the counters independent of one another. Otherwise, just remember that rows are always on the right, repeats are always on the left. These are always increase up here, and this is always decrease right here. That's the main features of the project settings. Let me show you. This is a pro feature. The free feature does not allow you to do this, and it has some advertisements, but the pro feature removes ads and adds some different project themes. If I want to change from the blue buttons to flowers, or if I would like to set a different project theme, maybe you really like this green guy as he's a pretty popular one as well. You can just change the different themes for the projects. I'll go ahead and set it back to the basic blue, but project themes are pretty fun. So that's just about everything in the project menu. There's a global menu as well that allows you to do a couple of different things. You've probably found that if you're watching this YouTube help. There's global settings that allow you to, if you don't want to track your project time, you can just remove that from the page entirely. Some people don't like it when their screen vibrates. You can do that. Hit the save button. and that'll remove, as you see, just give you a little bit more room for your pattern down there if you take off the timer. Also in the global settings menu, there's a ruler. If you want to, so you don't have to carry a separate ruler with you, you can use this ruler. There are some flashlights. If I pick this up a little bit, you can see that it turns a light on and off in the back. Just uses the flash on your phone if you have a stitch that's being difficult and you can't figure out what happened. That's a neat feature. There's a knitting needle log. If you go in and add different needles, let's say you have a fixed circ and it's a smaller needle set and you have a couple of things you'd like to track about it, you can include different notes as well on the needles, and then you can add them here, and you can see the red, it's red or green whether or not, depending on whether or not it's in use, and it'll show you the size and needle type, and there's a filter here that you can filter by any of the different sizes or types or materials or whatnot, so that's kind of handy. Same feature for crochet hooks as well. There's a needle log, a hook log. There's different size charts as well, so if you have want to convert between metric and for hooks numeric and letter, in this case you can do that. There's a needle chart as well. There's some abbreviations that are helpful and some different links as well. If you click on those, you can go to the different pages. The app has been translated from English into Russian, Spanish, French, and German. If you have different languages and you're trying to figure out how, you have a pattern in a foreign language and you want to translate the pattern, you're having a hard time, you can put your phone into a different language and you can see these on the left don't change, but this will go into the language your phone is in, so it's a helpful way to try to figure out what patterns say. Some yarn standards. We have a Ravelry group that's got a good number of users. If you'd like to pop over there, it's pretty active. And then lastly, I have to show you Buddy Jumper. So this is a fun little game that you can help Buddy jump to the top and get as many, you just tilt your phone left and right. And it'll help, you have to get as many as many stitch markers as you can until you get up to the ring store up at the top in the sky. So it's a fun game. If you have any questions, email androiddeveloperjoe@gmail.com.